part of the question here is, can you be a good lawyer with just a photographic memory? Because that definitely will help you learn the black letter of the law. But what law school tries to accomplish with its students is the ability to analyze facts, to apply the law to facts and come out with the right outcome. And so while Mike gets part of the way there with his photographic memory, he knows the law, he doesn't have any experience in applying that law to facts.
So I know you've heard this because you went to law school, and I've heard it a million times too. Law school is there to teach you to think like a lawyer.
Right.
I remember when I was in law school, I would constantly have people being like, well, what's the law on this or what's the law on that? And I think law school is a lot different than people think. We don't sit down from day one and they say, all right, open your law book. Here's law number 1, here's law number 2, here's law number 3, start memorizing. In fact, when I was in law school, almost all of my exams were open book, which was a bit of a shell shock when we had to take the bar exam and it was 0% open book. And I have some questions about how good a training that is, but that's a podcast for another day. What I will say is that, and if we're sticking with the pros for now, because I actually have more cons, but if we're sticking with the pros, Mike, he's not just some guy who can memorize things with no other skills whatsoever. I mean, he thinks well on his feet. He's creative. He's practical. And I've seen the entire series. He does really well in these situations. I think the bigger issue is how could you pull this off as a whole? I do think that particularly with good training, I mean, I can tell you between internships and externships, probably I learned more from those probably than I did my classes at times. So I think with good training, you could become a lawyer without going to law school. But the bigger issue is all of the hangups and regulations. And I just think this is too big of a heist to realistically be pulled off, especially in an arena that is so big as New York corporate law.
He's got the intelligence for it, but what he doesn't have is the vetting that every state bar puts their attorneys through before they will issue them a license.